about this. Why don't I bring out the director of Night Swim, Mr. Bryce McGuire.
Y'all know whose voice that was at the end? Jason, do it. Do the thing.
I will say this. I've seen that trailer and I still jumped. And I knew it was coming. Bryce, I want to talk with you because we had one body of water that was cool. Jaws ruined the beach. The, Lake Placid ruined the lakes. The Blue Lagoon ruined lagoons. The River Wild ruined rivers. And now you're messing with this. Why? Why are you doing this to us?
Here's the thing.
No. So seriously, why pools? Why this sort of like horror-esque moment for it?
So for me, Jaws didn't just ruin the ocean, it ruined the pool too. I cannot be the only one that saw Jaws, was in the deep end by themselves and the lights flicked off, and was just convinced that that shark was beneath me rising toward my feet. Who felt that way? Anyone else feel that way? I know I'm not alone. Don't make me feel crazy up here.
They're with you. They're with you.
That was the origin. I mean, truly, like it was me seeing Jaws at like 9 years old and being in the pool at night and just like, I know rationally this pool is 9 feet deep and it's 22 feet wide and 40 feet long or whatever, but I also know that that's not true because when that lights go off, I cannot see the ground. And if I can't see the bottom of the pool, it's not there. That's just science. That was my fear. I think it's interesting seeing this trailer out in the wild now, and even with the short film, it's based on a short, it was a little bit validating to be like, oh, that phobia is not just mine, but there's a universal aspect to the water, even in a place that should be safe and domesticated and fun and sexy. It feels like we're not in our element anymore. We're not at the top of the food chain.
Oh, wow.
Right?
See, he says it with such a smile, but I'm just up here being like, I really like my pool, and this is gonna be not great. But Jason, I want to ask you sometimes when you meet these directors what makes you say it, but I can definitely tell with this individual right here, this infectious sort of like terror was probably there. I'm guessing it was maybe a film festival, you saw the short, and then you guys started...
So, I mean, look, but can't you see he's demented? I mean we always look for a certain dementia and a certain joy and a reveling in scaring and upsetting people, and clearly he has that in spades. His short was great.
I'm sorry, Mom.
This was I am too. This was a movie that we just did. Obviously, Megan with Atomic Monster. We're concluding our merge with Atomic Monster. It's not quite done yet, but it's very close. And this was something that that company had fostered and brought us. And it's really, the Megan, Night Swim. These are the reasons that we're gonna work with these guys. They work differently than us, and that's what's so fun about the creative business. The second you have a formula, it doesn't work. You can't have a formula. And you developed a relationship with James and Atomic Monster for quite some time. And I think it was in the process of Megan where they brought this to us, and we got very excited. James in particular is terrific at making the ordinary upsetting. He's got such a great imagination. I mean, they just did The Nun, and all the Conjuring universe, and a lot of the Conjuring universe actually does what Night Swim does, which is taking something that wouldn't necessarily seem scary and making it very scary and unsettling. And so, you guys, what was your experience like developing the movie with them?
Yeah, I was just...
Well, I mean, I can tell you, like, we made the short film quite a while ago, and I remember when I met James Wan, he said, I saw your short, I was swimming in my pool last night. This is true. And he said, I was doing the freestyle where you lift your head this way, you lift your head this way, you lift it this way, take a breath. He's like, I looked up to the left, and I swear to God, I thought I saw that creature from your short standing there. So he's like, you scared me. I have to make this movie. That's what it was.
Yeah, James is actually really interesting. Every movie I don't work like this at all, but James makes movies about real life things that happen to him, usually in and around his house, that scare him. That's like what inspires him. He's a tortured soul. He's scared. He's always scared.
And
but he is always
enlists new
scared.
victims like yourself to come along into his cause, like a Pied Piper. Listen, all I will say is I'm already terrified of my pool, and it's definitely adding that. But with a film like this, the tension that you created, I'm sure it was there in the short, but now you have to expand this across a feature film. Just really quickly, what can folks sort of like look forward to in that tension? Because like how are we gonna get, where are we going with these pools? Where are we trying to go for it? Set the stage, if you will.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I will say this. I made the short film. A lot of people saw it. A lot of people liked it and asked me, what's the feature? What's the feature? And for about 2 years, I didn't have an answer for that, because I think the bad version just becomes a repetitive boo in the pool movie. And I knew that I wasn't so interested in making that. Like, I knew there had to be more to it. And about 2 years after that, I had just one of those ideas that just kind of comes to you fully formed. And I was like, okay, that's a mystery, that's a concept, that's a mythology, that's a mechanism that becomes more than just a game of Marco Polo that lasts for an hour and a half. There's a whole other dimension to what's going on here, which I won't speak too much about. You should go experience it. But that was really important to me, that there had to be more to the story, both on the character level and on the conceptual level, to justify it being a full meal for anyone that would go and see this movie. And I think that we very much now have that. I would say the other thing to that is looking at the pool and looking at our universal experience in the water. We have these sense memories of reaching through the drain flap, or these stories we'd hear about someone getting their hair caught in the main drain and getting sucked down there and getting held beneath the pot until they drowned. There's all these kind of things like the don't run, these rules, these things that were meant to kind of protect us. And as you start to like look into your own childhood, you realize like we all shared, like Marco Polo came from that too. It's like just going into what are these universal experiences and feelings and images and ideas we have around the pool, and then how do we twist them and weaponize them to ruin the pool forever for millions of people. That's our lofty ambition with this. But just digging deep into that location. Yeah.
I think you're gonna get some mission accomplished on that one. I'm freaked out just from the trailer. I just wanted to say though really quickly, I know you're a huge horror head, just from what your passion talking about the short. How crazy is it, and how much do you pinch yourself that you got to produce and write and direct your first film with James Wan and Jason Blum together? Like, that's kind of, one of them would have been kind of cool. I'm like, that's not fair.
Well, so Jason was there on the first day of set, first day of production, and I kind of gave this little speech where I basically said, 8 years ago when I made this short film, I was substitute teaching in the LAUSD school system. I had a kindergarten class that I had been teaching for about 2 months at that point. And when the short started getting sent around, so I don't take it for granted at all to end up in this position. I don't feel entitled to be here. I feel extremely grateful to be here. And I truly like what James brings and the kind of sadistic, high concept, and the filmmaking approach, because he's involved. Like, he's on set, he's supporting you, he's collaborating, he's pitching ideas, he's so excited. Like, his creative fingerprints are all over this movie, always with respect to the role of the director. That's what's so awesome about him. He's a director, so he gets it. And then Blumhouse, I mean, just the legacy, the reputation, the trust that you've created with all these people in the room here, and millions of other people around the world.
Don't let us down.
No, but but I did feel that responsibility. Like there's a pact here of like when you see that Blumhouse logo and you see that Atomic Monster logo, that that's the best in the business. That's the people who created the most iconic horror movies in the past 10 to 15 years, period. So I feel so lucky to be a part of that. I really do.
I love it. No, and I think we're going to be lucky to take a peek at everything that you got going on. Yes, sir.
No, I was just going to say we were lucky to get to work with you, and you did such a terrific job, and I'm grateful to you.
We'll be on the lookout for Night Swim from Blumhouse and Universal Pictures.
Thank y'all. Go
Bryce,
see it in
thank you
theaters.
so
It's the
much.
only way to see this movie.
Only in theaters.
Thank you. Yes, in theaters. We're here right now, and I'm glad that you mentioned the in theaters aspect of it, because you have now really set the standard to own the month of October, sir, as far as like the numbers of features and films and things that you have coming out. Woo! been one of the most highly anticipated things on the Fandango calendar.
Oh boy.
We're gonna go ahead and talk about this. I mean, really, I think you told me you said you've been trying to make this picture for how long?
It's been 8 years.
8 years.
No matter what I tweet, thanks to hopefully many of you in this audience, no matter what I tweet, I could tweet about a haircut, and Five Nights at Freddy's is all that we talk about. That's all that we see.
I will say that.
And there were some doubters. A lot of people didn't believe it. I said in 2 years we're going to have a movie. There were some doubters. But we have a major motion picture that is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! And right now, we're gonna go ahead and take a moment and let you guys take a peek at the trailer.
Oh boy.
Five Nights at
In
Freddy's.
case anyone hasn't seen it,
Here we go.